winter travel, if you're cold outside and overheating when you get inside somewhere, you're probably doing this one thing wrong. Most people, when they're packing and planning for winter travel, they're thinking thick coat, thick sweater, all of that, but that's not necessarily the solution. Hi, I'm Josie. I've been packing carry-on only for over 25 years, and I'm here to show you how you can too. So whether you're traveling carry-on only or not, the solution is in functional layers. And what I mean by functional layers is a technical base layer as your foundation of your winter travel outfit. So think of something like a backpacker, or if you're camping, something like that, gear like that. It's technical for a reason because it's serving a particular purpose. And that purpose is, this is going to sound weird, but the purpose is to keep you dry. So special attention needs to be looked at in terms of what your base layer consists of. Something like cotton is not ideal at all. That is not what I'm talking about. Do not wear cotton as your base layer. That is not going to work for you. Let's start by talking about the first layer, and this is really what I mean by your technical base layer. So the first layer will be made of something like a merino wool, a synthetic material like capsule, or silk. And how the base layer works is that it will, well, first of all, you're going to wear it as a second skin. You're going to be wearing it pretty close to your skin. So this first layer closest to your skin, its purpose will be to wick moisture away from your body and helping it evaporate. So by doing that, that's what regulates your temperature and keeps you cool or at the same time warm. Since that's its primary function, that's why I say don't use cotton. Cotton will not wick away that moisture, it will hold it in. And if cotton retains the moisture, that's what makes you feel clammy and cold. So I briefly mentioned the materials. The ideal material for this is merino wool. And I know that sounds weird because it sounded really weird to me when I first learned about this. Like, why would I want to wear wool close to my body? It's itchy, it's, but this is a different type of merino wool. It's fabricated very thinly. It's very finely woven. And because it's finely woven, you don't really feel that itch. And as I said, it's very thin. It will come in several different weights, a thin weight, a mid-weight, or a heavy weight. And you choose which weight based on the temperature of your destination. The heavy weight is really only recommended for extreme cold temperatures. General travel purposes, I would stick to the lightweight. So the other versions are the synthetic and the silk. So synthetics are just that. It's going to be materials like capsule or whatever combination of synthetic materials. And those will do the trick, but they have a few disadvantages. The primary one for me is that it's not a natural fiber. And because of that, its effectiveness is not going to be as good as the merino wool. So it does have a tendency to feel a little clammy when wet. So think of that same kind of cotton feeling where it's going to retain a little bit of the moisture and not as effectively evaporate all the moisture that it's wicking from your body. And a big thing for me is the odor retention. It really does hold on to the odors, whereas merino wool is the opposite. It is famous for resisting odors, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Because it's not as effective as merino wool, it's not going to keep you quite as warm. But the advantage of a synthetic or a capsule or any other material like that is the price. It's going to be not as expensive as merino wool because it's not a natural fiber. So next we'll talk about silk, and I'm going to admit I've never had the silk base layers, but what I do know is that once again it's a natural fiber, so there is that. If you are sensitive to wool, this is a very nice alternative, and it will do a good job of wicking away sweat. The cons for this one are that it's probably best for milder cold weather. You wouldn't want to wear this in extremely cold temperatures. It is a natural fiber, but it is not quite as expensive as the merino wool, so it might be a good alternative. And another thing with the silk base layer is that because it is a delicate material, it may not hold up as well as a synthetic or the merino wool. So let's go back to the merino wool and talk about why it's an ideal base layer. So I talked about that it's very thin and tightly woven, but because it is a natural fiber, it will do a great job of helping wick away and evaporate any moisture from your body. And I touched on it earlier, but wool is a naturally odor resistant material. So what that means when you're traveling or even camping or backpacking, you can wear it repeatedly before you have to wash it. And the other thing that I really like about it is if you're hand washing it and hanging it to dry, it dries very quickly. So part of carry-on travel is that sometimes you're going to have to wash things in the sink. It's nice because you'll hang it up to dry and it can easily dry overnight. And this is another weird fun fact about the wool, which I found very surprising. You can wear it in the summer. Such a great job of regulating your temperature. It's not just something that can be worn for winter. People actually wear it in the summertime as well. Lightweight travelers and lightweight backpackers like it for summer just because of those reasons that I named. It helps control it helps regulate your body temperature, and it dries super quickly, and it's odor resistant. I will give this caveat. I do not live in a cold weather place. I live in North Texas. I don't have to deal with extreme cold weather, but I will say that I have been camping during cold weather, and base layers are an absolute essential. A lot of events that I'm involved in, and sometimes I have to be outside for hours in cold weather. So base layers are a game changer. I feel like I can look super cute on the outside and nobody knows that I've got all these base layers on underneath. And that's really what matters, is you want to look cute on the outside but be warm and cozy on the inside. So choose the base layer that's right for you, your trip, and the level of investment that you want to go into. But I will say I have used my base layers for more than just travel and more than just camping. I wear them at home. We had a freeze a few years ago where we had no heat for 3 or 4 days, and I lived in them. So they are worth the investment, and I'm really happy I have mine. I'm always amazed at how comfortable I feel going from the outside to the inside and not having to feel like I need to peel them off because I'm overheated now that I'm inside in the heat. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a believer. Let me know if you're going to try them out. Okay, not me yapping for almost 10 minutes about a base layer. So I'll do a part 2 of how your base layer works with all your other layers, which are your mid layer and your outer layer. And if you want to dive deeper into layering for winter travel, you can just Google those terms. You'll probably find one of my blog articles that I've written about it. So I have about 3 or 4 out there, and they all cover all of this in even more depth. So check those out.